How do you step into someone else's world when it's completely different to your own?
That moment when everything feels so unfamiliar. The sights, the smells, the noise, and even the quietness can reveal so much about yourself and your posture in entering a new culture.
So today we'll be talking about crossing cultures, and not just the going on the plane part, the trying new foods part, but really learning how to enter a new culture with a posture of grace and humility. Setting up in an unfamiliar place and adjusting to a new culture is so difficult, but experiencing a cross-cultural relationship is so worth it.
That's true. In 1 Corinthians chapter 9, Paul says that he became like the people he was reaching out to, not to blend in, but to love them well. Paul's words in these passages shows us that there's an incredible blessing in letting go of your own culture and learning to understand and share the gospel in a different cultural context.
It is said that it takes the whole world to know the whole Christ. This is true as God created each one of us on this planet unique and with our own experiences and in the image of Him. So, as we learn new cultures, we learn more about the heart of God. While crossing cultures can be a beautiful thing, we also want to acknowledge it can be a bit disorienting.
Yes, some cultures might greet you with hugs and kisses, while other cultures might greet you with just a quiet nod. Some culture might expect you to arrive right on time, while other cultures might expect you to arrive an hour after the event starts.
When these differences add on top of each other, it can cause dissonance for your own experiences. This can lead to something called culture stress.
Yes, culture stress can also lead to a lot of other feelings like frustration, confusion, embarrassment, or even anger. And this amplifies when you're also dealing with jet lag or experiencing homesickness.
You might think this won't happen to you if you've got experience crossing cultures before. However, in our experiences, it's very normal and can happen to everyone.
And the key here really is how you handle and respond to culture stress. You could easily be someone who is critical of others' culture and end up isolating yourself from people around you.
Or on the other hand, you can choose to want to learn more and understand things in their way. This will lead to building cross-cultural friendships.
A lot of people greet with hugs. And I mean, I'm a hugger, but I'm not like that much of a hugger. I'm just like, if they come, you're like, hi, I'll be like, oh, like I just met you, like, you know, but I feel like I got used to it. Like meeting like the families, I'm like, hi, like, you know, like that was like what, day 3. So yeah, and like, I feel like a lot of them are really open, which is great. And like, my family is open too, but like we sat down, we talked to them, and they're just full on like sharing personal stories. And I'm like, they're really open over there. So I guess that was a cross-cultural like experience that I had there.
Another thing is, as Americans, we tend to walk, like we go like this when we walk here. That is seen as disrespectful because you're being loud, so you should always tap your feet and not make a lot of noise when you walk. And so when I was in Loperi, they said, oh, you walk, like the way how you walk is really loud. And I was like, it is? And so I had to change the way how I walk to try to make it softer.
But I think the stress of working cross-culturally is where little things that are very easy become hard. So grocery shopping, if you get into a little, like we never did by the Lord's grace, but an accident, you know, motorcycle accident, if you get into those moments, you're consistently stressed that the system will work against you. And so I think the biggest cultural stress for us was the things that we would do without thinking back home required a lot of energy and mental awareness, just grocery shopping, going out, getting the washing done, very basic things that are not necessarily radically different, but you almost don't know what to expect at any given moment. So there's big stresses in that, and it's tiring. It's very tiring. At the end of the day, you're smashed. You don't know why you didn't do anything. You did grocery shopping, you did your washing, and you're smashed, and you're like, why? But you realize that your brain is consistently processing new information, so it is quite a tiring thing.
I realize when I do a bit of reflection, like just the contrast of like from leaving Singapore to coming to Thailand, there's just many major changes, but all related to, like, I can't really pinpoint like what is wrong. Okay, not what is wrong, but what is so different in the culture that makes me feel so stressed. But what I can say is that it's more of the feeling of my independence is taken away from me. How I was like, as a husband, I wanna wake up early. I wanna go and like buy the groceries, get breakfast ready. These are things that I would do in Singapore. But now coming into a completely new environment, I can't really speak Thai very well, and then that just puts me in a state of like I feel very disabled. Yeah, so I can't really pinpoint like culturally what in Thai culture that really triggered the stress, but it's more of this new season or environment where I feel almost useless.
In the places that I've served, in many ways I felt very familiar and comfortable with the culture because I spoke the language. Many of the people that we served looked just like my family and people that I've grown up with. But there are still such cultural differences in like even raising kids, in even certain like slang terms, and I realized like I couldn't joke around with families in a way that I thought I could joke around. And so I think within cultural expectations, like realizing, I'm still a learner. Like I am coming into a new culture. I may speak the same language. I may look like some of the families we are serving, but I am still learning from them because I did not grow up in this culture, in this country.
In Singapore, people will start talking to me in Chinese as they think I look like Chinese, but I'm not. So whatever they talk to me, I'm so sorry, can you say that again in English? Like talk to them politely. At first, I just thought that, again and again, something like that. But later on, I just, okay, never mind, yeah. It's okay to look like Chinese, something like that, yeah. Even though I cannot like answer them right after they ask me a question, that's okay. We can take time to figure out who is who, yeah.
The more you learn about a culture and the more you're kind of able to adapt to it, I think the easier it gets to navigate. So like the first time that I was able to order myself a drink in Thai and kind of do the whole sawadika and all of that, and it kind of makes me really happy, but it also makes the person I'm talking to happy because it means they can use their own language and they don't have to worry about getting the English wrong or anything like that. And I think especially with a lot of the greetings and the sort of deference, which is quite normal in Thai culture, I've definitely gotten miles better at that.
I think your basic preparation is what I would emphasize, and that would be in the area of language. I think I bring up language first and foremost because I have seen the commitment to language actually improve most every area of mission work. Because with language comes cultural understanding. With language comes the ability to really relate at a deep level with the Thai people. And even if you're on a short-term trip, I once had 2 young men come out and I said, you're here for a year, I want you to do 6 months in language. And they did not like that because they were here for 1 year to interact with the Thai, to sit and really work hard on the Thai language was difficult for them. But now as an adult, he's probably 40 years old now, he thanked me the other day and he said, I appreciate now the wisdom because those 6 months that we had on the ground with the Thai people were so effective.
I think in a lot of places of service, whether it be a bank or even a restaurant, there's this idea of harmony and community and everyone showing mutual kindness. Even if you're very frustrated, you might not show it loudly or expressively. And so I got used to that environment to where another foreigner would come in fresh off the boat in that direction. And I would just be like feeling shame on his behalf, like, oh, he's so loud. Oh, he's talking so harsh. Oh, it hurts my soul. like, can we calm down?
Like,
yes,
don't associate me with that foreigner.
I don't know. I'm like, and you start to feel like, okay, maybe this is something that we're not very good at. We're not very community oriented. We're very individually oriented. So even though he's right, he's shaming a ton of people that don't need to be shamed. And there is a right way of approaching this in this setting. So it's not that you'll come somewhere like, oh, I'll find out what all these heathens are doing that's so stupid. You'll probably find out, wow, there's some things I need to check up on my heart too.
One day after the morning church service, the men in the church decided they had planned it, to come and trim the trees. So they got ropes and saws and axes and everything, and they didn't just trim the trees, they like cut off all the foliage, and you just had these tall, hacked off trees, and I was not happy. Yeah, I ran inside because I thought trimming was like trimming, and I went in there and said, you don't believe what they're doing. And actually one of the limbs that dropped actually hit our telephone wire, and it ruined our, we were out of the telephone for a day. So I can't believe this is happening. There's no shade, it's just hot sun in our house. And but obviously, I couldn't do anything about it, except then like 4 or 5 months later, what I didn't expect happened, is like trees grow very quickly in Thailand, in the tropics. And before long at all, there was even better foliage and better place to play, greater shade. And so to me, that was sort of like a token reminder that, it really is stressful, but there's often a reason behind it that's just not accessible to me. And if I wait or if I get help understanding it, that stress can go away a bit.
At the heart of this is something deeper, and that is worldview.
Because it's not just how we act that's different, it's also how we think. What might feel normal to you will feel completely different and strange to someone else.
Yes, think about this. What do you usually do when you're sick? Where I'm from, some Filipinos go to quack doctors or spiritual doctors, and some of us just drink BioFlu. Each action reflects a value.
That's completely different to what we do in Wales. But when we're stressed, we'll drink a cup of tea and we find that it calms us and stabilizes us. We even have a saying that translates to a cup of tea puts the world in its place.
See, I don't relate to that at all. Well, most of the time, all of us actually live on autopilot. And think about this again. When you last ate your meal, you didn't think about the meaning of chopsticks or forks or using your fingers when you eat. You just did it because that was taught to you.
The way we eat even shows something about our culture and tells a story about what our community's values are.
And let's be honest, this is a lot to process, and you'll not get everything right.
You'll make mistakes and you'll misunderstand, and that's okay.
But if you come with humility, stay curious, and love like Jesus, you'll glorify God in every steps.